Breaking news. Today we are talking about a huge development around Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, and the story just keeps getting more intense. Recently, Kanu revealed what he calls a secret deal behind his rendition from Kenya to Nigeria, and this revelation is shaking things up. The drama here is real, and I want you to stick with me through this because every detail matters. While we go through this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. It helps the channel grow and keeps you informed. Let's get straight to it. Nnamdi Kanu is a British Nigerian citizen and the leader of IPOB, the group pushing for Biafran independence. Many of you know he's been in the spotlight for years, arrested, released on bail, disappeared for a while, and then most notably, he was taken from Kenya and brought to Nigeria under circumstances that many call extraordinary and illegal. Now, Kanu is saying there was more to this story, a secret deal involving top officials. He claims senior intelligence and security officers were involved in orchestrating the events that led to his capture. And according to him, this wasn't just an ordinary extradition. It was a carefully planned operation, and he calls it a betrayal of justice. You know what makes this even more serious? A Kenyan court actually declared his rendition illegal. They said it violated his rights and awarded him compensation. This is not just hearsay. It's a court ruling from another country confirming that something went wrong and that it was serious. So when Kanu talks about a secret deal, it's not just political talk. There's legal weight behind his claims. While we go through this, remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the updates because this story is still developing. Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, has been vocal about the role of some of Nigeria's top security officials, mentioning names of former intelligence heads as being responsible for what happened. Kanu also speaks of what he calls serial executive and judicial fraud. Basically tricks and manipulations by the government to keep him detained and prevent him from fully defending himself. These claims are serious because they suggest abuse of power at high levels. At the same time, Kanu's family has been pressing the UK to take action, reminding everyone that he is a British citizen. They argued that the UK government has not done enough to intervene in what they call an unlawful rendition. This adds an international dimension to the story, and it raises questions about diplomacy, human rights, and accountability. The Nigerian government, however, denies orchestrating any illegal rendition. Security agencies insist they only operate within Nigeria and that any actions in Kenya were not under their mandate. They also point to Kanu's broadcasts and previous actions as reasons for the government's scrutiny, but the tension remains high, and the public is closely watching how these claims and denials play out. This story is more than just Kanu's legal battle. It touches on human rights, rule of law, trust in institutions, and even political dynamics in Nigeria. The Kenyan court ruling shows that there are consequences when states overstep their powers, and Kanu's allegations put pressure on the government to answer tough questions. IPOB supporters see this as proof that the system is against them and it could energize their movement further, while critics watch carefully to see how the legal processes unfold. The most recent development is that Nigerian courts have set judgment dates for his terrorism trial. Kanu has been warned to enter his defense or risk losing the chance to fully present his side. Meanwhile, his story continues to generate debate about justice, legality, and government conduct. So, picking up from where we left off, let's talk about the wider implications of what Kanu has exposed. This is not just about him as a person. This story touches every Nigerian and even the international community because it raises serious questions about justice, fairness, and the limits of government power. Imagine this. A citizen who also happens to be a British national is allegedly taken from another country and brought into Nigeria without the usual legal processes. A Kenyan court has already said this was illegal. That alone is enough to make anyone sit up and ask, how did this happen? Who approved it? And why wasn't proper legal procedure followed? These are the exact questions Kanu has been pointing to with his claims of a secret deal. Now, let's consider what his allegations mean politically. IPOB has long argued that the Nigerian government is not interested in listening to the grievances of the Biafran people. By exposing this alleged secret deal, Kanu is not just defending himself, he is trying to show his supporters that the system is stacked against them. And whether you agree with IPOB or not, the point is that these claims have powerful consequences. They can influence public opinion, political debates, and even international attention. And speaking of the international angle, Kanu's family has repeatedly called out the UK. They insist that Britain has a responsibility to its citizen. If the UK doesn't act or respond strongly, it sends a worrying message that powerful governments can allow human rights violations to happen to their citizens abroad without accountability. This is why people outside Nigeria are watching this story closely. It's about legal rights, human dignity, and international standards. Meanwhile, inside Nigeria, this story is stirring debates everywhere. From social media to political circles. Some people say Kanu is exaggerating or playing a political game. Others say he's speaking the truth and exposing government misconduct. And this divide shows how sensitive the topic of justice and governance in Nigeria has become. Here's something important to note. The Nigerian government insists that it followed all necessary procedures and denies wrongdoing. Security agencies say they only operate within Nigeria and that they were responding to Kanu's activities, which they claim included broadcasts and other actions that threatened peace. However, these explanations have not fully satisfied the public, especially after the Kenyan court ruling that declared the rendition illegal. This tension between government claims and Kanu's allegations is what keeps the story alive and compelling. Now, let's talk about what this means for the rule of law. A functioning democracy depends on fairness, justice, and accountability. If Kanu's claims of a secret deal are true, it suggests a system where decisions can be made in secrecy by powerful individuals, bypassing courts and legal processes. That's why this story is more than just news. It's a lesson in governance, human rights, and civic awareness. And if you care about the future of democracy and justice, this is exactly the kind of story to follow closely. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Every time you do, it helps us bring you more detailed real-time updates like this. And it also makes sure you don't miss the next developments in this ongoing saga. Now, for those wondering about Kanu's legal position, his lawyers are arguing that his trial in Nigeria has serious legal flaws. They say some of the charges are politically motivated and the process has not respected all legal rights. On the other side, the Nigerian government is insisting that the law is being followed and that Kanu must answer for the charges against him. This battle in the courts is central because the outcome will determine not just Kanu's future, but also set a precedent for how such cases might be handled in the future. This story also has a human side. Think about Kanu himself, detained far from home, facing serious charges, and now publicly accusing powerful individuals of wrongdoing. There is enormous pressure on him, his family, and his supporters. And that human element, so the fear, the frustration, the fight for justice, is what makes this story resonate with so many people. It's not just politics, it's real human drama. We also need to consider what this means for IPOB and other separatist movements. The message Kanu is sending, whether fully accurate or partly, is that the system can be unfair and even hostile to certain groups. This can strengthen the movement's base as people rally behind a leader who is seen as standing up to what they perceive as injustice. So the story is political, social, and emotional all at once. Remember, if you are following this story, this is exactly the kind of update you don't want to miss. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay ahead. I will keep unpacking every part of this story in real time.